Hola. It's been a minute, hasn't it? The rise of the alpha male in recent years has been very fascinating to me because it kind of goes against everything that the internet has become thus far. We have moved into a much more progressive and sensitive era, and whether you think that's a good or bad thing, you should at least acknowledge that it is a true thing. So it's strange to me that these characters have popped up and gotten incredibly popular off of ideologies that are deeply rooted in sexism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia. Some of them just even have straight up racism in them. In a lot of ways, this is the 2016 edgy era for this new generation of young men. However, that has an interesting shift on the way the content is produced because the attention span of this new generation of children is incredibly fucked. Certain platforms, TikTok, have completely and utterly fried the computing systems of the youth and the terminally online, like myself. Lots of people can't be with a piece of content for longer than a minute, and so alpha creators and creators in general had to evolve in a way that would suit that attention deficiency well. And so the alpha male TikTok / YouTube Shorts podcast was born. There are so damn many of these things, and while I'm sure you've heard of the big ones, your Tates and your Sneakos, you would be surprised at the just absolutely ginormous mountain of these guys, all ranging in extremity, spiraling down the iceberg. And while that range in extremity is definitely noticeable, there is an even more noticeable linkage between ideologies and tactics that they use to get a 13-year-old to worship them somehow. So let's get it started. I picked through YouTube Shorts and TikTok and found me the greasiest, slimiest, and most interesting characters in this alpha podcast sphere. And while going through these, we're gonna go through all the things that make accounts like these tick. Basically, the tactics of recruitment I was talking about earlier. So, let's begin with...
Well, did you hear that, detective? They said they caught the #1 human trafficker in the entire country. Can you believe that?
Sebastian Jesus Christ, my American tongue is slurry. Sebastian Gihuk is an alpha male creator. Yeah, no shit. Since all these guys come from the same cloning facility, it's really hard to pinpoint down accurate personality traits for each of them. However, we can pinpoint down different tactics that they use to manipulate their audiences, so we're gonna focus on them rather than just giving an introductory statement for everybody here. Sebastian Gohan here has made his presence relatively well known on YouTube, amassing a massive 900k subs. However, we're going to opt out of watching his main channel videos as of right now because it feels semi-counterintuitive to the topic at hand. Remember, we're trying to perceive this from a brain-dead child's perspective. They wouldn't go and watch the full video, so we're not. So let's go ahead and head on to his other channel, Sebastian Gonzalez Shorts, where we will be holding all of our discussions. By the way, I know his last name's pronounced Georgiou. I just really couldn't pronounce it when I first saw it. Now, as many of you could probably tell from my incredibly masculine voice and sheer suicidal energy, I'm in college. And while in college, I took a critical thinking class, and I picked up this nifty little book. Thank you for arguing. As much as I hate being literate, we're gonna be using this book as a means to deconstruct the skeedy alpha male schemes and also point out where they fail to make any sense. Sebastian Georgiou's content is a shining beacon of a logical fallacy. Now, thank you for arguing states that you have to ask 3 questions in order to determine something to be a logical fallacy. Does the proof hold up? Am I given the right number of choices? And does the proof lead to the conclusion? Sebastian went pretty big in the clownosphere when this video of him talking about a Lamborghini was thrown around on Twitter and such, so let's go through this and see if he answers any of our questions.
If you are in your 20s and you're like a normal guy that wants what normal men want, like let's say a Lamborghini for example, and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should actually sit down and have like a serious discussion with yourself as to why you don't have a Lambo. Because I realize now that it's so incredibly easy and there's so much money out there, and 200 grand relative to what is out there in circulation and what you can grab, especially now with AI tools that you can leverage like never before, 200 grand is chump change.
All right. So that video is fucking stupid, but in order to determine how fucking stupid it is, we have to go through and ask our 3 questions. So this video is obviously trying to get across the fact that being broke in your 20s is cringe because you have so many avenues you can take to gain a profit. So, question 1, does the proof hold up? And the answer is no, because there's no proof given. There's the illusion of proof given, being that you can leverage AI tools, but That's just word vomit of a suggestion that might work. Oh, all I need to do for an easy 200K is just leverage some AI tools? Well, how, Sebastian Garbenzino? Because I've been pumping prompts into ChatGPT for about an hour and I still don't have any results. All right, second question. Am I given the right number of choices? And the answer is obviously no. The only choice given is get rich quick through leveraging AI tools, which is douche-pilled code for buy my course to get rich, you stupid asshole. And number 3, a disconnect between proof and conclusion. Obviously. 200 Dilla is nothing because it's easy to leverage AI tools. What if the AI business doesn't work out? You're kind of fucked according to Sebastian Gurihuru, because that's the only option. Even after the logical fallacy has been proven, there is still so much to clown on him for in this vid.
And people will say I'm out of touch with reality, and they can it because it's just not true. I've been on both sides and I see now, and there's still so much more to see, I'm sure, but I've seen a lot now, and I'm like, okay, you should sit down and you should have a serious discussion with yourself.
Sebastian Gago Lago, do you realize that maybe people are saying that you're out of touch with reality because you do and say things that make you look like you're out of touch with reality? I did some digging on you, and you genuinely do look like you come from actually humble beginnings, but you seem to just think suggesting that everybody do exactly what worked for you will work for them, but that's just not how this shit works. Ding, ding, ding. We have just unlocked another faulty argument piece in Sebastian Game Boy Girl's argument. This is one I came up with all by myself. I call it the one-size-fits-all method. I'm not great at naming things. It's essentially, X worked for me, so X will work for you. You know, it was really easy for me to get a Lambo once I figured all this other shit out, so you know, it could totally work for you. No! It probably won't. You can't just take somebody else's formula to success and apply it to your own life and expect it to work 100% of the way through, especially when the person you're taking that from is incentivized to make getting rich seem as easy as possible so that they can sell you their scam course. I made a video that scratched the surface of this idea, so I'll scratch the surface of it here again. Most of these people did not get rich off of leveraging AI tools or drop shipping or whatever. Most of these people got rich off of peddling courses to people who think you can get rich off of those things. And then the people who have the courses will take the earnings from the course and then pretend like they got them from drop shipping or leveraging AI tools when it's actually from the course. This digital marketing thing Sebastian has isn't a course, but it's in the same vein as one, and remember what Tommy NFG's wise words were.
If the course is in their bio, then the intentions are vile.
You guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about his garbage money opinions. Let's talk about his other garbage opinions.
As well, of girls being like, look, I want to like do my own thing and that's why I have my own job, but the man has to be the provider in the relationship. So I want my guy to make more money and I want him to be the alpha in the relationship. A lot of girls that feel certain ways, but definitely a lot of girls that have that mindset where they don't want to work. We always bring up the negative, but I think that there's a large part of the population of women that if they sit there and they're honest with themselves, they're like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. If you ask a girl, like, and she's truthfully honest, because that's hard to do, and she's not biased, and she sits there and you ask her the question, what do you want to do? I think that a lot of them will say, like, honestly, just relax, drive around, express love, laugh.
They just want to be happy.
Enjoy. Express love. Express and enjoy life. Be around dogs and kids and friends and people that you care about, and go try new things and experience things and novelty and go shop. And great. That's fine. That's what they want to do.
Sebastian, god damn it, I'm running this joke into the fucking ground. Do you realize you've described like half the population? What do girls want to do? And then Sebastian's answer is enjoy life. Am I a girl? Is everyone I know a girl? Because I am more than sure I am not the only one who wants to enjoy life. I get what he's trying to say. Women want a provider. They want somebody who can work for them. All right, quick big three. 1, does the proof hold up? There is no proof. I can already hear the salty comments of the cult followers coming into the comments saying some shit like, it's a YouTube show, you have to watch the entire podcast to get the full idea. No, that's not how this works. As a content creator, how you present yourself is important because it lets people know whether or not you're a fucking idiot. And these YouTube shorts make you look like a massive idiot, and most people are not gonna go watch the hour-long podcast to get the full idea of what you're doing. Case in point, yes, people are stupid and they're gonna make assumptions based off of one small clip they've seen, but it's your job to make sure clips like those don't exist. Number 2, are there the correct amount of options? No, he's suggesting that all women want to be lazy assholes and that's the best option or some shit, even though in this day's economic standpoint, that isn't even true. 46% of two-parent households households have both parents working full-time. Even if your wife or girlfriend wants to be lazy, she probably can't afford it. 3. Does the proof lead to the conclusion? There is no proof. Plus, there's a little bit of the one-size method. Most women want to be lazy. You, woman watching this, you're lazy. And one last thing I wanted to look at with him, he went on to H3's podcast and debated him for like 2 hours, and this clip in particular stuck out to me.
This is from last year. It says, what the F is happening with gay people? 10 years ago, everyone called them F words, the F slur for gay people in high school. And today, 1 in 6 high schoolers claim to be gay.
1 in 6, so yeah, it's continuing. More and more people.
So do you miss the days when we could call gay people the F word?
No, I just think it's surprising. I think it's crazy that that's happened. It's been such a popular trend lately.
Yeah, but that's not true either, is it?
No, it is.
What's your data?
My cousins that are in high school. I've talked to my cousins in high school.
Oh, wow, that's just some true alpha male shit right there. You know, just call all gay people the F slur. Fucking wonderful. Also, that's some great data you pulled out there, Sebastian. I talked to my cousins about it. That's on the level of I'm handsome because my grandma said so.
I tweeted that because people think they're born gay, and I don't think they're born gay.
The amount of left-handed people back in the day was really low because people with left-handed were seen as inferior and they were forced to use their right hand more often. But as it became more acceptable, then the amount of left-handed people increased and it became steady at what? Like
12%.
Would you say people choose to be left-handed?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Do you choose every day to be attracted to women?
Yes!
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I'm just naturally attracted to women.
Right. So do I need to connect the dots or you got it?
No, he's too stupid. He doesn't understand.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And collect my thoughts.
Go ahead. It's all good. Take your time.
That's some really great proof, Sebastian. Airtight. Airtight. Jesus Christ. How, in a debate with Ethan Klein, have you managed to make yourself look like the biggest moron in the room? Honestly, researching Sebastian Georgiou just kind of made me sad, because he does genuinely come from humble beginnings and has the potential to be a great role model for young men, but no. As it stands, Sebastian Georgiou is just kind of an asshole who is trying to act much smarter than he is, built on a foundation of logical fallacies. That was a lot to unpack there, huh? And we still got 3 more to go. I hope you're ready for shit to get even messier.
This man, what does he call himself? Well, he calls himself Morpheus. Morpheus. Why's that?
While Sebastian's TikToks were much more focused on business and getting rich, this podcast, Whatever, is all about girls, 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 girls. Basically, they bring a bunch of random girls they found on Instagram and then debate/tackle/ask them about certain hot button topics. It's incredibly sexist. I don't like throwing claims like that about because I feel like it incredibly waters down the entire concept of what a sexism is, which is not a principle that applies to whatever in any way. Now look, there's a vast difference between doing something sexist maybe once or twice and then being sexist again, again,
I would say hookup culture,
again,
if we want to see
again, again, and again, again, and again. Alright, enough of that. Let's take out some facts and logic to destroy these liberals. Jesus Christ, I am still living in 2016. Now, this podcast, much like Sebastian's podcast, does fall victim to a fallacy. However, this is a specific fallacy. The fallacy of power. This one's got a short and sweet explanation as to what it is. Because the guy in charge wants it, this fallacy says it must be good. Now, this argument does not apply 100%, as Whatever's host, Brian Atlas, does actually have a lot of power in what we, the audience, see. Throwing a kingy patented rhetorical term, overpowering. Basically, somebody abuses the power that they have to get where they want in an argument. One example of this is that Whatever cast women to be on their podcast off of IG. They probably get tons of women who want to come on, and I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to not cast somebody because they know they would be tough to debate. I mean, would you? The rest of the examples are within the video itself, so let's go ahead and watch that.
I think is unfair if you're going to call something like disgusting. I think that's...
Yes, I think promiscuity is disgusting.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So you're not promiscuous?
Yeah, so you yourself
why is he not allowed to say that based on your whole theory right now?
He is, but at the same time, I'm saying, wouldn't it bring you more peace just to not judge others?
Well, I mean, I don't spend my time thinking about all the people that are getting herpes out there and that are destroying their ability to pair bond with future partners. I don't really give it a whole bunch of thought outside of this podcast. I don't spend my time like, oh my God, these fucking people are just fucking like crazy. Like, I don't really, like, I accept that people are promiscuous, like, it is what it is.
Right there, notice how he continues to talk even when she's talking, and when it's time to answer, Brian kind of skirts past this with like a half answer. She says, wouldn't it bring you more peace not to judge others for promiscuity? And then he claps back with, I don't think about it when I'm not here. Okay, you're still thinking about it a lot, and judging by the fact that this podcast is your job, you do it more than a few times a month, you probably think about promiscuity more than the average person. Also, you didn't answer a goddamn question. This point that she's making is probably not even something that I would agree with. Like, yeah, it would bring you more peace not to judge people, but some judgment could be valid criticism or actually help somebody improve and better themselves. But by default, you look like you are in the wrong, Brian, because you can't answer her question, which kind of makes you look like you're incapable of arguing.
It's not so much you in particular, it's your viewer base. It's like
is against promiscuity. Good job, guys.
I'm not saying you interrupted me. I would like it if you could let me finish.
The next day, yeah.
I just love the irony of her politely asking to finish her argument only to be cut off by the video. Again, she's not even making a point that I think I would even agree with, but you cutting her off with external means beyond her control just makes you look incompetent, and that incompetence isn't very alpha.
I think the ultimate thing, if I can do a little psychoanalysis, that might be preventing someone like you from attaining your dream girl is you have this block where you think so much about body count, so much about her being a high value woman.
So you're saying I'm going in with what? Too much expectations?
I don't even think it's expectations. I think it's judgment. A little like too much judgment instead of taking into account all these other things. You're focused on these like minuscule things, and you're
minuscule.
I mean, you're just not taking. You're just saying body count. That's like so physical. Like you're not.
You're focused too much on the past too. You're not really focused as much.
Here's what's so funny to me. I think women are unaccustomed to hearing men communicate and articulate their preferences, standards, and boundaries. Women are the queens of going for exactly what they want. You guys have laundry lists of criteria that a guy needs to meet.
You are non-answering. You have like 3 separate topics to tackle, and yet you just talk about a generalized problem that you have with women. It's like asking someone, do you like apples or bananas more? And then they respond back with, well, you know, peaches are a delectable and delicious fruit. Like, bro. Alright, Mr. Brian Atlas, this segment here is tailored specifically for you. This is King XB's How to Structure a Fucking Argument. Okay, so let's say this lady here says shit about your views on body count, and now it's your turn to speak. Here, you're going to format a question. I'll even make that question for you. So, this standard I have for body count is too much, huh? Well, do you have any standards? And if so, what differentiates your standards from mine and makes yours acceptable, whereas mine are judgmental? That one question will put her in a catch-22 where either she can't respond or she'll respond with a logical fallacy, in which case you can go in and deliver your final point. It's very simple. You might be wondering why I'm spending so much time obsessing over the incompetence of this guy, and it's because, by all means, this incompetence should be a massive detriment to his character. I really tried getting inside a 14-year-old boy. That is not how you phrase that sentence at all. Whoa. Whoa. I really tried to get into the mindset of a 14-year-old boy for this video, because that's obviously who these videos are targeted to. Young teens who want to learn to be the coolest or the socially smartest they can be. But when I view whatever, I just can't help but see Brian as this bumbling, incompetent moron with no argumentative skills. He doesn't look cool or smart at all. He relies on these power gaps that others can't control in order to make himself look much, much smarter than he actually is, but once you rip that thinly veiled layer off, everything he says and does falls the fuck apart. Again, I hate saying shit like this, but this podcast really does just feel like a way for Brian to air out the grievances he has with women. Maybe the live streams are better, but we're not touching those, so as portrayed in the shorts content, whatever just feels like a sexist podcast made by a dude who thinks he has much more power than he actually does. Sorry if that segment went a little off the rails. It's just really hard to stay focused when the thing you're watching is not staying focused. Let's move on.
Well, Morpheus, you see, they call him Morpheus because he says that he breaks your mind free. He breaks your mind free from this new world order, but that's just not what happens.
Trey Valley is a TikTok creator focused on growing and changing as a Christian male, and on the surface, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm personally not religious, but if you want to preach to the peeps who are about being a better person according to the Bible, then I think that is perfectly fine. As long as you're not putting anyone else down. As long as you're not putting anyone else down. As long as... Thank You for Arguing has a technique called the chocolate-covered carrot, where basically you try to make something look much more appealing than it actually is to your audience. Now, I'm going to keep it 100% with you. I am 15% of the way through this script. I cannot find the definition for this thing anywhere. I cannot find the page number it's on. I have scrolled through this for 3 hours and I cannot find it for the life of me, and I am behind schedule, so I cannot pull it up. I am sorry. But for once, the specificities of that definition honestly don't matter. I just need to bring up the idea of making something look much more appealing than it actually is. The book uses a carrot as an example, probably assuming that you're going to be using this technique for good. However, that does not apply to Trey Valley's content, unfortunately. It's not really a chocolate-covered carrot. It's more so a chocolate-covered onion. Something that looks appealing and looks nice on the outside, but the deeper you go into it, the more layers you peel back, the more potent and nasty it becomes. So, let's take a gander at Trey's TikTok. This is, as of right now, the newest video he's posted.
So here's the thing. Marriage is not going to fix it. Marriage will not fix the lust, it will not fix the loneliness, and it will not fix the lies that you've believed about your value. That's because marriage is not the hammer and nails, marriage is the birdhouse, right? Marriage is what you build, it's not the tools that you use to build. Marriage doesn't sustain your character sustains your marriage.
Well, god damn it, that is one fine point, Mr. Valley. Again, I ain't religious, but let's run it through the 3 logical fallacy questions from earlier. See, I'm a good YouTuber, I can do callbacks. So, the point he's trying to get at is that marriage will not solve your life's problems. Number 1, does the proof hold up? While he doesn't necessarily provide any evidence of his own, the American divorce rate more than backs up his claims here. 2, am I given the right number of choices? Yes. Trey opens the door on the other side of marriage, being that marriage is the house you build, not necessarily the tools you use to build a house. And so, Trey is suggesting that you seek to build your character before you seek to build your marriage, which leads to the conclusion, which is number 3. So, Trey got all 3 correct. Can we give it up for my boy Trey? Congratulations. Okay, you don't get that much of an applause, right? So after that very well put together video, we scroll a little deeper and we find this video.
Anytime somebody asks me about Catholicism, this is my basic answer. I don't pray to dead people. Mary was an amazing woman. Peter, Paul, all of them incredible people. Awesome. But they're dead. Jesus is not dead. I pray to him.
Oh, well, that was a little disrespectful. I don't really know much about Catholicism versus Christianity, but realistically, the beef cannot be that serious as to elicit this type of response. The people you pray to are dead! There is no point in doing that because they are gone! They are all dead! They cannot hear your prayers because they are dead! And so, going a little deeper, we find this video.
Dear cancel culture, I want you to know something. You can ban and deplatform and cancel as many Christian creators as you want, but you will never be able to silence the gospel. Trust me, more powerful men have tried and failed. People have been persecuted, impaled, burned alive for sharing this gospel, and somehow it's still around today. And you think that you can silence it with one of these little things? Yeah, all right. Good luck with that.
Well, I can't say for sure that cancel culture is not attacking your religion, dude. I get that there are a bunch of whiny pricks who make a big deal out of literally anything. However, I doubt there are enough of them to cancel an entire religion, the world's largest religion at that. They might be able to clap back at and stomp out a couple of bad actors within that crowd, but I mean, at that point, do you really want them to be around you? Don't they give normal creators like you a bad rep? And also, you kind of indirectly compared yourself to Jesus there, just a little bit, which is a bit extreme. I get that you're both spreading the gospel, but at the end of the day, one of you was at risk of literally being murdered, and the other one of you was at risk of being ratioed on Twitter. Yeah, alright, let's just go a little further. Surely it can't be that much worse.
A war being waged on masculinity. And here's the thing, it's not just coming from women, it's coming from men too. Men that have become comfortable with the new status quo, that embrace this new age definition of masculinity, which is really just femininity. And they think the biggest contribution they can make to society is championing whatever new woke movement is on the rise. And I'm amazed just how much pushback I get from men.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what I expected. We have officially unlayered all of Trey's chocolate onion, and we are now left with the core, which just has the stink of toxic masculinity all over it. Why do you have to be judgmental around others? I understand that the Bible has some touchy rules on things that are considered normal now, but I'm pretty sure there's something in the Bible that also says something along the lines of, don't be a judgmental prick. Also, you called this a war on ideals, but really, it's a war on your ideals, Trey. Everyone just has a different set of ideals on them, and getting pissy over them not following yours is just kind of childish. Now, yeah, I had to scroll into the past to find these videos, but I didn't really have to scroll that far. I could totally see a situation where a young Christian boy follows this account after one good point and then is just thrust down a rabbit hole. I hate when people try to pin down a creator for having a child audience and trying to force them to accommodate for that. I will always side with creative expression, and if that creative expression is not kid-friendly, that's too fucking bad. But there's anti-kid-friendly content, and then there's purposefully luring kids into something that could lead them down a road of becoming more hateful. Trey himself says that his videos are targeted at young men, and while I don't think he's intentionally leading kids down this rabbit hole, he has no doubt contributed to that even a little bit. And some of you might think that this is me holding his past against him, and I would be inclined to believe that, but the past wasn't really that long ago, and the fact that every once in a while he comes out with a take that is almost just as crazy makes me kind of feel like he still believes in this. Now, the reason I know about this guy is because a while ago I made a response video to his response video of all the hate he was getting for some of the bad shit he was saying. And now I want to take this time to do a deeper analysis of that TikTok video, because my original TikTok video is no longer up, because TikTok is a terrible website. Just it's a fucking awful website.
Well, I just read a plethora of messages telling me to unalive myself in all sorts of creative ways. Like, you guys are
okay, so just immediately off rip, if you ever send Seth threats to somebody, you are automatically lesser than whoever you're arguing with. Seth threats are unacceptable, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Nothing some dude says online should ever elicit that type of response, and if you've ever thought about or have sent some type of response like that to somebody, I need you to sit in the corner and think long and hard about where your life went wrong. And I really think that Trey can make a jab at this situation with that little hint of comedy that he just put in. Really highlights one of the best parts of his character, even just a little bit.
Creative, I'll give you that. But it's caused me to think long and hard about what it is I'm trying to do and why I'm trying to do it. So I'm going to make a video on it because I think it needs to be said. I do not get paid for this. There is no incentive for me to do this whatsoever. People act like this is my living. I have so many other things going on in my life right now.
Trey, you do have an incentive to keep going that is beyond money. Attention. Attention is a dirty drug that will get you to do disgusting and deplorable things, and it is also a fantastic motivator. Seeing bigger numbers make you happy and get you to keep going. It doesn't matter what you believe in. And yes, I'm sure that you really genuinely do love helping young men. However, your unwillingness to admit to other incentives makes me believe that you don't really love it as much as you portray, as we've seen is the case with many other creators.
This is what I do instead of playing video games or watching Netflix or doing all the other things that I speak against. And I can honestly sit here and say the only reason I do it is to help young men.
Alright, here's the thing. People aren't mad that you're speaking against those types of things. They're mad that you're speaking against those things in a hypocritical way. You call things like Netflix and video games silly and childish, and yet you're sat here making TikToks. And don't get me wrong, you should not feel any remorse for making those TikToks, and you likely don't. So why should anybody feel remorse when they go and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender for the 58th time? Okay, that might be more of a me-specific issue, but you get what I'm trying to say. Also, I hate to say it, but you're really downplaying what people are actually mad at you for, which is the overwhelming sense of toxic masculinity. Bashing femininity in a male and talking about how it makes you less attractive to women. Talking about how you should follow in Jesus' footsteps and be a man's man. And then talking about how it's all just a ploy of the feminist wrecked agenda. These are the things you say that people are really mad at because, dog, I'm sorry, it's not helping young men. It's harming them. For every Christian kid you help with your video, there might be another much more insecure kid who watches one of your videos and gets his negative self-image reaffirmed. Because words can fucking sting, and I know for a fact you know that, Trey, because you made this video. And I want to clarify, this is in no way trying to justify the KYS comments. Those are all awful and vile, and they will always be awful and vile. But Trey, just please take a minute to consider how the comments you made in your video may make somebody in those marginalized groups feel similar to the way these scumbags made you feel.
I'm not trying to get young men to do anything I haven't done myself. Genuinely, all that is in my heart is wanting to help young men get out of the place I was in. If you hate me, fine, hate me, but understand my intentions are good. Never gonna be a mouthpiece for anyone's agenda. Not taters.
Trey, I'm sorry. I have no other way to deal with this other than just being incredibly blunt. Intentions mean jack all when the trade-off is this cataclysmic. Again, for every young man you help, there might be another young man who watches your videos and feels shunned and unwanted, and that young man you might help has a really good chance of whipping straight into some fucked up ideologies. And again, you say you don't associate yourself with Tate or Sneeko, but their essence, it just oozes out of every single pore and facet of your content. Their stench is all over you. The stench of an onion, one might say. Now, I feel the need to say this, although this is auto-implied on everyone and everything I've ever made, but I feel like it's worth reiterating specifically for him. Do not send hate to Trey. He is easily the least extreme of everybody we're talking about today, and even though he still has a few kinks to iron out with his overall message, I am more than confident in saying that he has grown and changed even just a little bit for the better.
So if that's not what happens, then what really does? Well, detective, they say he brainwashes you, and, well, he turns your brain to sludge.
Likely the most recognizable of the four, Steve will do it as part of the Nelk Boys and the Full Send podcast, and while the others had logical fallacies and fallacies of power to point out, Steve will do it is just a fucking idiot. Oh shit.
Did you see Mr. Beast, the guy Chris? My theory is that like someone had to do it.
What?
Or Chris.
What?
You're saying it was like to protect the channel?
What the fuck?
Just level up in life. It's just a crazy theory.
I agree, it is crazy. Can you please explain it? Can you please explain?
When I first watched this video, I must have watched it, I shit you not, about 40 times to just try to figure out what the fuck it meant. And then I finally come to the conclusion that he's implying that Mr. Breast forced Chris to transition so that they could protect the channel from any criticism. Okay, one, he's Mr. fucking Beast. He doesn't need this protection from criticism, no matter how stupid it is. And two, if this was his grandiose master plan the entire time, it very clearly hasn't worked. Also, what in God's name does level up in life mean? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? You know, after a long nights of self-reflection, I looked at myself in the mirror for maybe about 40 minutes just admiring my perfect fucking body, and I come to the conclusion that I need to level up in life. And so I took the initiative like a responsible adult, and I roundhouse kicked my pregnant girlfriend. Officer, you gotta understand, I simply did it to level up in life. Also, I don't know if you know this, Steve, but you can't forcefully volunteer somebody to transition against their will. But the craziest part of this video is, to me, the comments, because almost none of them are negative in any way. And I expected it to be mostly, you know, like little kids. They were 9 when they started watching Mr. Beast and they're 13 now, to be in these comments sections. But no, there are fully grown-ass people in these comments typing shit like 100% my thoughts. Their exact thoughts to Chris Tyson transitioning were Mr. Breast must be forcefully choosing an employee to transition so that the channel will receive less criticism. Whatever, next up we got this video.
Tucker Carlson, what do you think?
I think that Rumble should hire him. I can't ever remember a time in my life that our country's more divided, and whether you watch CNN, MSNBC, or Fox News, I feel like both or all three of those networks are siding. Nobody just reports the news. That being said, Tucker Carlson got 7 million views a night. If Fox News terminated him, I think Rumble should hire him, give him his own show.
Yeah, I think so, because I think Tucker Carlson's got an army behind him.
He does.
They got 7 million views not because of Fox, but because of Tucker.
Here's one of the many Rumble shows on Steve's page, and I just find it so hilarious because on one hand, they're jerking off Rumble because that is a website that Steve Will Do It was bought by, and then on the other hand, they're jerking off Tucker Carlson because they want him to come and join the Rumble army. So they're just doing one of these. It's a double glaze fest. I don't know how comfortable I am with that clip being out there. Alright, one more.
That guy from the Buffalo Bills, DeMar, you see how he passed out in the field? It's sad to see. It was even sadder for me because I had fucking money on DeMar.
No, bro, are you fucking serious? I can't with this shit. A man nearly died on the playing field and you're over here moping about losing money as a result in a fucking Minecraft diamond armor suit. Now, I don't think Steve meant to be disrespectful or realizes that he's being disrespectful. I just think he's a bit of a... But even then, this is just an incredibly bad look because it just makes him look like a... I know I keep mentioning it, but these guys are supposed to try their hardest to look cool. However, Steve Will Do It does not look cool. He looks like a bumbling buffoon who dresses the way a guy who's never met a gay person in his life thinks gay people dress. And really, the only redeeming qualities he has are being rich and being fit. And I guess that's enough to get people on your side because these comments rival Krispy Kreme in terms of glazing. Steve gets almost no pushback consistently on all of these videos, which it's really disappointing because he really should. I got nothing else interesting or noteworthy to say about Steve Will Do It. It's just, he's stupid, and his videos are stupid, and the points he makes are stupid. Let's move on. Going through all of these guys' accounts felt like I was experiencing deja vu. I think it's fair to say that these people are the youth leaders when it comes to counterculture. However, these leaders all just spew the exact same shit that crumbles under the lightest scrutiny. Someone had to do it, guys. Someone had to do it. I know this conclusion is not groundbreaking or anything, but for a movement all about breaking out of the hive mind, this is a pretty big hive mind. And so, if any alpha male enthusiasts have managed to stick around for this long, I have this final message to send to you. Quit being a goddamn sheep! And also, finish your homework before you go to bed and focus on your grades. I know most of you are like 13 max. That's all for this video. Like and subscribe or I'll force feed you Advil. Real quick, I want to plug something shamelessly here. Subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be talking a lot more freely the way I do in these outros, except for the whole video, so, you know, they can be as good as these, I promise. I'm going to be focusing on movie reviews and just topics that I generally wouldn't on here. And then I'm also going to be trying and posting a little bit more of like behind the scenes, maybe not necessarily behind the scenes, but like shit that you wouldn't see in the normal video. So just subscribe to there. Also, you can follow me on my TikTok if you want. I'm using that kind of frequently on and off again. I feel like a couple of the things I post are kind of funny. So, you know, if you like me, follow it. If you hate my guts, damn. But anyways, that's all I got for today, so go fuck yourself. In the Matrix. In the Matrix. Goodbye.
boys can always say